Hello Wolfpack and welcome to the UBLN Week 2 Team Builder. So this week we are versing the Reno Raikous, or the Reno Raikous, I'm not sure how to say it, and Kohanx. I think that's how you say your name. I apologise if you're watching this and I said that completely wrong. Feel free to shout at me in the comment section below. But yes, this is a very scary team, combined with a very scary battler. From what I've seen, Kohanx is an incredible battler. Just in general, what I have seen in kind of everything that's been going on, it seems that he's really good at doing what he needs to do, and he's really good at drafting, because this team, I mean, look, Heatran, Scolipede, Tornadus Eye, Greninja, Hitmontop, Piloswine, Tangrowth, Magnezone, Miltank, Mimikyu, and Mega Latias. So again, just kind of got a lot of bulk combined with a lot of really good kind of attackers. There's actually quite a lot of bulk in this team. But you've got things like the Tornadus Eye, the Greninja, the Scolipede, the Magnezone, which again is kind of bulky, but it can be really offensive. Same with Mega Latias. Mega Latias is just a complete tank. Mimikyu is destructive, it has Disguise. And yeah, so let's just go through what I'm scared of. I'm kind of scared of the Heatran. The Heatran can cause me a few issues, particularly because two of my mons do have a Steel-type weakness, but I have got a couple of resistances in the back there as well. Scolipede is somewhat scary. Obviously, Mega Gardevoir really does not want to see that. We don't have our Steel type this week to absorb the Poison type moves, so he can quite freely just go for Poison Jabs. And Mega Horn is again really scary. Obviously, we've got a Moongus or something to try and combat it somewhat, but if it's holding Earthquake, it's going to be doing a lot of damage to us as well. Also with Speed Boost and be able to Baton Pass, so this could be a Speed Boost Baton Pass sale. Something you mentioned in Discord just after the draft is speed boosting and baton passing onto Mega Latias and then stored powering, and that would just cause so many issues. Tornadus Eye, again, quite scary. Hurricane, Knockoff, just two very scary moves in general. Greninja is just always a really scary mon. Luckily it's not Protein, it's just the Torrent Greninja. That you can get such a variety of moves that can make it really scary. Obviously Rock Slide, Kieran Black isn't really liking. Scolding is also going to cause issues. Not really much for... not too much. I mean, Skull Burn on Kyurem could be a little bit of a problem, especially against the Greninja, but other than that, it's fine. Hitmontop is quite scary as well. It can cause a lot of damage, but once it's done one close combat, I think I'll be able to take it out. Piloswine, again, is actually extremely scary to my team. I've done all the calcs, and honestly, Piloswine is probably one of the worst mons to see against my team on the Raikous team. It's just really difficult to kind of combat, especially if it's holding Everlight. So I'm kind of scared of that. Tangrowth, which was a last minute change. So Tangrowth, Magnezone, and Mimikyu were all changed from Tapu Bulu, Dusclops, and I can't forget what the other one was, Raikou. So they've all been kind of changed over, which is a little bit scary. Obviously, and this happened on Tuesday. I said I was okay with it before I saw what the changes were, and it just causes me a little bit more issue. But you know, I've made the modifications I can. This team was actually built in mind of the original, and I've just had to do a few minor tweaks, so it's not as perfect as it would be. But I really didn't want to alter all the mons and kind of take away the synergy that I think this team kind of has. I'm scared of the Tangrowth. Honestly, they can cause so many issues. If you watched the TBL battle last week, then you'll know that Tangrowth caused me so much grief. But we have got things like Kyurem, we have got Jolteon somewhat, we've got Gardevoir, even Conk is doing quite a lot of work to this thing, so I'm not as scared. Even a Moongus can kind of flat out wall it. Miltank is, I think Miltank is definitely coming. I feel like Kohan has a lot of love for the Miltank. I'm probably going to be thick fat because obviously Kieran Black is very scary with Ice Beam. Did consider running Focus Blast purely for that, but then I thought, you know, 2 Earth Powers pretty much take it out, assuming that it's not max defense. Mimikyu just can tear holes. Mimikyu, I'm almost guaranteed to sack something. Amoonguss can somewhat deal with it, maybe, but like if it gets a Sword Stance up, I think that's almost game. That is almost game. It does cause me a lot of issue if it gets a Sword Stance up. It's Play Rough, takes up Conk. I just kind of got to ensure that I'm breaking that Disguise and then hopefully sacking it on so I can get a little bit of damage off on it or something. Not running Stealth Rock or anything this week, so that's kind of a downfall. If I can get the Mimikyu Toxic, that would be kind of handy. We've got Mega Latias as well, which again is just scary. Hopefully Mega Guard can deal with that, but honestly, if this thing's holding Shadow Ball, there's not much I can do. There's not that much I can do. Gastrodon has a little bit of capability against it, but if they both have Recover, we're going to be stuck in a stalemate, and the Latias probably will have Calm Mind and Storm Power, and after a while that's just going to completely obliterate me. So yeah, very, very scared of what's going to be happening. But my team, I hope, can combat it. My team, I feel confident in my team. So our first one is Kuram Black here. Obviously, I really do love Kuram. I've been having so much fun using it already. I used it last week and it was the MVP, got 3 kills, which honestly makes me so happy. We've got Life Orb this week. I've actually remembered to put the Life Orb on it. Like last week, I think I had a last minute kind of change of mind. I was like, do I put Electrium Z on this, or do I put Life Orb on it? And I didn't make the decision. And I think I was going to put Life Orb, but I'm not sure if I was going to put Electrium Z. I just don't know which one I was going to do. And I ended up not putting either on because I forgot. So we've got Ice Beam, Fusion Bolt, Earth Power, and Roost. So Earth Power completely destroys the Heat Ram. As long as it's not Sash, we're fine. Heat Ram, I don't think will outspeed us unless it's Scarf, so I'm not too worried. What else does Earth Power deal with? Earth Power does a little bit to the Scolopy, but I think Ice Beam does more. Earth Power is hitting the Piloswine relatively okay. Magnezone is being taken out. I'm assuming it's going to be sturdy Magnezone. There's no reason to have Magnet Pull unless he's thinking of bringing Skarm. Mimikyu is kind of, I think it's living because Mimikyu has super high special defense. I was surprised how high its special defense was. Mega Latias, obviously the Earth Power doesn't even matter, but Ice Beam on the Mega Latias can be huge. It's going to be a case of, does the Mega Latias have Draco Meteor? If it does, then I go into Gardevoir. If it doesn't, then I have to kind of stay in. But by the time I've got to the point where I found out, one of my Mons is probably gone. Because if it doesn't, probably going to go for, well, he could even go for the Shadow Ball, expecting me to go into Gardevoir. So yeah, it's a very, very difficult thing to kind of predict. The Mimikyu, again, is just causing issues for this thing. It's just really, really difficult to kind of combat this, and the Mimikyu was the biggest issue of having to combat. Ice Beam is just in general doing a lot of damage to different things. It takes out the Tornadus and the Hitmontop, I think, in one hit, and the Tangrowth is taking a lot of damage to it as well. Earth Power, and yeah, I think Earth Power does a lot to the Miltank as well, same as Fusion Bolt. Fusion Bolt on Greninja, that's the main reason I'm bringing it. I think that Greninja could possibly come. I think Heatran's definitely coming. I think Mega Latias is definitely coming. I think Mimikyu is definitely coming, but the other 3, I'm not so sure. I could definitely see Scolopy coming. If we don't see Scolopy, I'm going to be a little bit happier because it means he can't just bat and pass into the Mega Latias with the speed. But that's obviously hopeful. And then Roost there, just in case I'm kind of getting whittled down by the Life Orb or something else has hit me, then I can just Roost up. EVs, we have 120 in speed with a naive nature, so more speed, less special defense. I can't remember what that was to outspeed. I think it was to outspeed the Heat Ram. Maybe. I can't remember. I can't actually remember. I think it was to outspeed the Heat Ram. I'm not sure if I outspeed the Mimikyu. I'm not sure. I think Mimikyu's over base 100 speed, so I don't actually know off the top of my head. I'm gonna have to check this after I recorded this. I've got max special attack and 36 in attack, just making that Fusion Bolt do a little bit more. I think the Fusion Bolt is more desirable still in the Mimikyu as well. It just does a little bit more damage, but I think we do go down to a play rough. And then we've got 100 EVs in HP, just because I had that left over, and I thought, you know what, let's just chuck it in the EV section. Yeah, so I think this thing could put in a lot of work. If Mimikyu comes, then I'm going to be a lot more scared. If Mimikyu doesn't come, then this thing can pretty much clean out a lot of stuff. Like, the Mega Latias is still scary. Pretty sure it's going to be bringing Draco Meteor, but if it's got one Draco Meteor, then it's going to be a lot less scary. And obviously, if I switch into Mega Guard, I do get a bit of momentum there as well. The next one we have is, speaking of Mega Gardevoir, we have Mega Gardevoir holding the Gardevoir right. Obviously, trace the ability, just in case I have to trace a Sturdy or something to come in. If I'm predicting a Flash Cannon from the Magnezone or something, there's a chance that's going to have to happen, but you know, hopefully I can just trace whatever, maybe even trace speed boost Scolipede. That would be actually some pretty good tech, because then I can get a increase in my speed, which would be really nice. Obviously the Scolipede would probably take me out, but it would definitely be something. Moves, we have Hyper Voice. Hyper Voice Pixelate is doing a lot of work to most things. We've got Psyshock, which is taking out the Scolipede, I believe, but obviously I'm struggling with speed. Unless it's not invested. If it's not invested, then we are fine, but if it is, we're not fine. I'm getting ahead of myself. Focus Blast is just there for the Heat Ram, because I think the Heat Ram will go down to a Focus Blast. And also things like Greninja, which can kind of cause us an issue, but you've got Hyper Voice as well. Hyper Voice taking the hit on top. Pilot Swine is causing a lot of issues, but so is Hyper Voice causing a lot of issues for it. Tangrowth, I'm not sure if I've actually done the calcs, but I think Hyper Voice is doing about 50%. Magnezone getting hit by the Focus Blast. Mimikyu, again, very scary, but the Hyper Voice should be doing some damage, if not a lot of damage. Maybe even Psyshock. I'm not sure if Psyshock does more because of Mimikyu's lower defense. And Healing Wish, just in case I see some kind of win con, maybe Kyurem or Conk, depending on what's kind of left. I can Healing Wish late game and get something in full HP and just start wrecking. EVs, we have 20 in HP, 252 in attack, and 236 in speed with Intimidation, so more speed and less attack. I cannot remember why this is. I cannot remember why I put this specific amount. I think it's to outspeed an uninvested Scolipede. I think that was the case, or an uninvested Mega Latias. I think that was probably it. I think they're the same speed, anyways. I think, I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, but it was to outspeed an uninvested Mega Latias. So I don't think Latias is going to be that invested. If I'm honest, I think it's definitely going to be a lot bulkier. This thing is just such a tanky mon, and it has really good natural speed, anyways. If it's max speed, it does cause me a lot more issues. I have got 3 mons that really don't like it. 3 mons that really don't like the Mega Latias, and probably do get one hit by it, assuming that it's holding a decent Psychic move and a decent Dragon move. If it's not holding a Dragon move, then I think Kyurem's pretty safe option. But damn, this Mega Latias is very scary. But I think we've got some kind of combat here. Now we go into Conkeldurr. And we have the Flame Orb Guts again, because I like using Flame Orb and Guts. It just boosts and makes sure that we almost one-hit almost everything on this, I think. So, Drain Punch takes out the Heat Ram, I'm sure, after Guts. We've got Ice Punch for the Tornadus. Scolipede is being taken out by Fire Punch. Greninja's being taken out by Drain Punch. We're not getting that much damage to us. Hitmontop is doing a lot of damage to us, but we kill it with a Drain Punch, so we can just heal ourselves back up. Pilot Swine, I think, is the same situation. I think we are 1 or 2 hit KOing it. Tangrowth, I think, again, was a 2 or 3 hit KO, but it can't do as much to us. It can cause issues with it if it's Giga Draining, but that will always be the case. Magnezone just gets destroyed by Drain Punch. Miltank, again, gets destroyed by Drain Punch. And Mimikyu, I think a knockoff would be really handy, depending on what it is. It's obviously not a Z user, so we can kind of cope with it. We can kind of deal with it. But the Mimikyu, if we're max health, we don't quite go down. But if we are dwindling a little bit, then we do go down to a Play Rough. And I think a +2 Play Rough will completely destroy us. Mega Latias, again, a stored power if it's like got minimal. I think we need it needs like 2 Calm Minds to be able to take us out in one hit with a Mega Latias, or like +4 total. And yeah, if not, Knockoff is a really good move. Or Ice Punch, I'm not sure which one I count to be more. I can't actually remember off the top of my head, but honestly, Conk does put in a lot of work still. Even though it's pretty slow, it's going to be taking some hits. It can get a lot of hits in itself. Next up we have Amoonguss. Amoonguss is kind of the mon that I'm not as confident with, but I kind of needed it for a couple of key mons. I needed it more for the Mimikyu, I needed it more for the Tangrowth. As much as I want to be able to burn it, I just obviously can't burn the Mimikyu. Could have Spore. I did consider putting Spore back on this. I might even put Spore back on this before the match, just because that does really cause issues for Mimikyu. We've got Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, and Hidden Power Ground. Hidden Power Ground is there for the Heat Ran. The Heat Ran can't actually take us out with one hit. Even if it's max special, I don't think it can. And we're gonna HP ground it, and I believe it takes out in one hit, or it has a roll to take out in one hit. Giga Drain is just good for things like Greninja. It can hit the Hitmontop, can hit the Piloswine, it can hit the Miltank somewhat, and yeah, just in general. Sludge Bomb is there for things like Tangrowth. We can hit the Mega Latias somewhat. I think Sludge Bomb did more to Scolipede, but I'm not sure if Hidden Power Ground is doing more now. I didn't quite calc that. And we can hit the Tornadus Eye with Sludge Bomb if we need to. Not that I ever want to, because you know that thing has Hurricane and that will just completely blitz us. But yeah, Amoonguss should be able to put in some work. Black Sludge here, max defense, max HP, bold nature, so more defense, less attack, and 4 EVs and special attack. So yeah, this thing is just hopefully going to be dealing with things. I might actually take off Toxic and put Spore on it, just for the Mimikyu, purely for the Mimikyu. Because then I'll be able to break his disguise, possibly switch into something that's going to be doing a little bit more before it wakes up, and yeah, it's gonna hopefully be that. So I guess I'll see. I guess I will see kind of how things go. But yeah, that's kind of my thought process right now. I could definitely obviously go Spore, and in the prediction of switching into Heatran, I could go Hidden Power Ground, and that would put him in a really bad position. So that's just kind of my thought process right now. Obviously in the match I might be a little bit different, obviously things might be running out a little bit differently, but I think I do have to conserve Amoonguss for Mimikyu. I'm unsure on Toxic. I think, actually now thinking about it, Spore would probably make more sense. He's got 2 steel types, and he's got Scolipede in immunity, so yeah, I think we've got quite a few hard hitters. We have quite a few hard hitters, so I don't really need the chip damage as such. So I think Spore on the Mimikyu might actually work really nicely. At least that's kind of my plan right now. And yeah, that's kind of it for Amoonguss. Next up, we've got our specially defensive Gastrodon, which, you know, I actually did the calcs again, and because I didn't do it at level 50, last week it would have lived if he didn't get the highest possible roll. He basically got the perfect roll. There was a 6.3% chance of it dying to that one hit, and it did. So hopefully we're looking for a redemption this week with Gastrodon. We've got max HP and max special defense with a sassy nature, so more special defense, less speed, because I don't really need speed in this thing. I've got Scald, we've got Ice Beam, we've got Earthquake, and we've got Recover. Recover is going to be healing us up gradually. We've got Storm Drain again, just for the Greninja if that comes. If that wants to try and do some water antics, then I'm fine. Scald is just going to be burning things, hopefully, maybe even burn the Scolipede. I would quite like to get to burn on that. I can deal damage to the Heatran. Tornadus, burning that so that the knockoff does nothing. I would like to burn the Hitmontop, honestly. Tangrowth, I don't stay in against anyways. Magnezone, I think I would just Earthquake in any instance. Miltank, probably, I'm unsure on the Miltank. I don't know what it would necessarily hold. I think I'd have to see what kind of the set is looking like. And Mimikyu, I would love to get a burn off on it. So if I can get in, like, that's my other option. I either Spore it or even try and burn it. But this, again, and it breaks, the thing is, it breaks the disguise. I don't know if you can burn it whilst it's breaking the disguise. I'm not actually sure, but I think, obviously, early game, Spore, break the disguise. And then later game, I can Scald and try and get a burn on it. So that could definitely work. Recover is just to heal ourselves up. This thing will hopefully be able to deal somewhat with the Mega Latias. I just need to make sure that it is not setting up Calm Minds on me, because that will cause a lot of issues. And yeah, that's kind of the thoughts there. Max HP, max special defense, sassy nature, as I've kind of already explained on there. Storm Drain, just making sure we're taking those water type attacks. You could definitely see, I could definitely see like Surf or something coming with Latias. Not sure why it would come. Maybe scared of Marowak, because Marowak could potentially wall it. Not wall it, but Marowak could do a lot of damage to it with Shadow Bone. So yeah, I think that is definitely a worry. I probably should have brought Marowak this week, because it does put in a lot of work. But the thing is, it takes a lot of damage. Actually, it works so much better now that with his replacements as well. But oh well, that's kind of my mistake. But I didn't see it. I didn't see it till just now. But our last one is Jolteon. Jolteon is less kind of concerned this week. We have Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, Hidden Power Fire, and Volt Switch here. So Thunderbolt is doing damage to almost everything. It's doing like quite a bit. Hidden Power Fire is there for the Magma Zone. I did almost replace it with Hidden Power Ground, but then I thought the Tang Growth will want the Hidden Power Fire anyways. Shadow Ball is there for I don't know what. What did I put Shadow Ball in there for? Oh, the Mega Latias, because it does about 40 to 45%, I think, which would obviously be a nice amount of damage. I did consider running Specs this week, but I thought I stuck with Life Orb because I think I am going to need the versatility of this set. I am going to have to kind of be prepared to go for different moves, and obviously this thing does outspeed the Mega Latias even if it's max speed. I've ensured this to outspeed the Greninja if it's max speed. With 252 in special attack, 192 in speed with a timid nature, and then 64 in defense. I was ensuring it lived. I think it lived a Shadow Claw from the Mimikyu. I think that was where it was ensuring it lived, and Thunderbolt does like 90-something% damage, so if I can get some chip damage off on it, then we are looking pretty right and dandy. Yeah, that is kind of my set for this week. Volt Absorb there just in case Magnezone wants to cause some antics, but other than that, I think we are pretty good. I'm not necessarily excited, but I'm a little bit nervous for this match. It could go good, it could go bad. I don't know how it's going to go, but yeah, it depends what he brings, I think. And yeah, that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know if you think down in the comment section below. Anyways, I'm out of here, so have a good one, and I'll see you soon.